So it's about time I do some downsizing in the collection. I've been considering this for a little while now. I've been recently watching some videos about just collecting habits and collecting as a hobby and just making sure a collection is a really great representation of you and the movies that you're passionate about and interested in. And I definitely have some movies in my collection that while I like them, while I respect them, I think they're great movies, I just don't revisit them often enough that I feel like they're worth keeping in my collection. So in this video, I'm going to be doing some downsizing. I am just going to take some time, go through my shelves, look through some stuff, pick out some stuff that, even if I like the movie, I don't think I need to keep it anymore in the collection. I just think it's a healthy thing to do from time to time and just pick out those movies that, yes, I may enjoy this movie. I may have liked seeing it the 1, 2, 3 times that I have, but I don't necessarily care enough about it to keep it in my collection as something that's a more of like an extension of myself. Because I really feel like my collection, I want it to be something that's an extension of myself, my personality, my interests, and my passions. And there's movies back here that while I really like them, I don't need them in the collection anymore. So let's jump in, let's get started. All right, kicking things off, this is the section of my shelf of movies that I haven't seen before, whether it's a gift, something I picked up for myself to take a chance on, like a gift that I got or a gift that I got for my wife that I just haven't gotten around yet personally. So kicking things off on that one, we have 500 Days of Summer. That's definitely a keep. It's one that I've not seen, but I really do want to see, and it's one of my wife's favorites. Across the Universe, that was a gift. I'm not going to keep that one. It's like about like the Beatles music and stuff like that. I never really listened to the Beatles, so I don't have any inclination based on that one. Apollo 13, another one I haven't seen but do really want to see at some point, so I will hold on to that one. Best in Show, I've heard this is a really good comedy, but I mean, it's been on my shelf for 2 years and I haven't watched it yet, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Dances with Wolves, that's one I've heard is really great, so I do want to keep that one. Full Metal Jacket, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it on the get rid of pile. I haven't seen it. It is one I want to see at some point. I would think it's probably going to be streaming somewhere that I could just catch it there if I do get rid of it. So we're going to put that on the get rid of pile. The Girl on the Train, that's one that we got as a gift and I grabbed it because my wife was interested in it, but it's been 2 years and we still haven't watched it. So we'll get rid of that one. I Still Believe, The Life Story of Jeremy Camp. That is one I think my wife and I got when we were at Walmart once and just haven't gotten around to it yet. She's seen it, but I have not. So I keep it in the I haven't seen section. Lawrence of Arabia. I've heard it's a great movie, but I just don't think I'll ever get around to it. And even if I do really like it, I mean, it's hard. I'm a little prejudiced in saying I don't feel like it'd be, something that's like an extension of my love and my knowledge of film, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. Where the Crawdads Sing, this is one I got my wife for Christmas. I just haven't gotten a chance to see it myself yet. And then Ben-Hur and the 10 Commandments, I'm going to put those in the get rid of as well. Again, they've been on my shelf for 2 years and I still haven't taken the time for it. So, I mean, more than half of that stack is all set now as far as movies that I'm not going to go ahead and keep. So now for the more difficult task of the movies on the shelf that I have seen but don't necessarily need in the collection anymore. I know one of the biggest challenges for me on this is going to be the DC movies. I say biggest challenge, but I mean, it really shouldn't be because, like, I've always been someone who's a big fan of superhero movies. It's a big reason of why I got into collecting movies was because I liked getting all the different editions of, or not all the editions, I just like picking different editions of the Marvel movies and getting the MCU stuff and whatnot especially. And the DC stuff, I've always been a big superhero fan. So, like, I've always bought all of the DC superhero movies and all of the Marvel, mostly MCU stuff, where, like, we have the Snyder cut of this now. Anytime I want to watch this movie, this is the version of the movie I'm going to watch. I was mostly holding on to this for, like, personal historical significance, but, like, I don't care. I'm not going to watch this movie and enjoy it. If I want to watch Justice League, I'm going to watch the Snyder cut of it. If I really need it, I'm pretty sure I have a digital copy for this one too. So like this one is another one, like it's sitting on the shelf. It's cool to have both versions of the movie, but like I don't need it. I'm not passionate about the original cut of the theatrical Justice League. I care about that Snyder cut. So that's like stuff that I need to go through and pick out. So here's another example of like my inclination to have some like historical significance kind of thing in my collection. I am a fan of Alfred Hitchcock. I've seen a number of his movies. I like and really love a lot of his movies. So I got North by Northwest a while ago because it was one that I had heard was really great. I'd never seen. I watched it. I thought it was great. But like Rear Window, that's like my Hitchcock. I love Rear Window is my favorite Hitchcock movie probably. So like, I really like North by Northwest, and I've kept it in my collection of like, hey, I need some more representation of Alfred Hitchcock in my collection. Yeah, it's a great movie, but like, I don't know. I didn't love it enough that I'm going to be like going back and watching this every couple of years kind of thing. Where like Rear Window, I love going back and watching this movie. And there's a couple other Hitchcock movies that I feel like would take a better slot in my collection than North by Northwest that I'm more passionate about Alfred Hitchcock-wise in the collection. Now here's an interesting one where it's like kind of an exception to the rule, because I think there should be some. If you follow me, my videos, you know I'm a big fan of foreign stuff, especially like martial arts action kind of stuff. So I have a number of foreign films in my collection that are like action. I have some dramas and comedies and stuff like that too. But like something like Old Boy. I've seen Old Boy once. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I bought it to watch this because that was the only way to really watch it at the time. And I thought it was a great movie. It's not a movie I want to rewatch anytime soon. It's a very difficult movie to watch, especially in that final act and twist and stuff. But like, I still feel like this is a good representation of the films that I'm interested in, the ones that I want to advocate for. And should there ever be a time where someone's wanting to watch something that's just like one of those hard-hitting foreign films, this is something I want to be able to pull off the shelf. So this is like, you know, there's a couple exceptions for me, I think, as far as some movies that I may not want to go back and rewatch all that often because of the difficult material that's included in the movie, but at the same time, it's still a representation of the type of cinema that I'm passionate about. So here's one more exception to the rule really quick. Something like Pitch Perfect. I've seen Pitch Perfect a couple of times. I think it's a really fun movie. I really enjoy it. It's one of my wife's all-time favorites, so of course I'm gonna have it in the collection. She's not as much into movies as I am, but I want to have representation of her favorite movies in my collection as well. So while I won't go and personally watch Pitch Perfect too much on my own time, if she wants to watch it, it's definitely a movie I'm interested in watching. So for me, it's a good movie to keep on the shelf. Another struggle with this one, we have the kind of completist mindset. So I talked about how I've always purchased the DCEU movies and the MCU movies and a lot of other Marvel and DC movies. Where something like Shazam. I love the first Shazam movie. I think it's great. It's definitely one that I would rewatch every once in a while. I got this one on Black Friday, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It's not a bad movie. It's an okay movie, but like, I don't need to watch this one all that often. If I'm in the mood for something Shazam, I'm gonna pop on the first Shazam movie. So I mean, it's a weaker film, unfortunately, in the series, but the kind of completist in me wanted to continue to purchase all of the DCEU stuff. So I mean, a number of the movies I'm gonna be getting rid of are definitely gonna fall into this category of buying it because I wanted to have all the DC stuff, or like even just a simple duology of the Shazam movies. But like, even if I get rid of this, I do have a digital copy backup for this one. It just doesn't need to take space up on my shelf. So here's a few more. We got something like That Thing You Do. I've seen it once. It wasn't even on this Blu-ray. We streamed it once, my wife and I, and we liked it. It was fun, and then got it as a gift and just haven't watched it again since someone gave it to us. Don't know why T2's sticking out. That shouldn't be. Training Day, another one. Got it as a gift because I'd really wanted to see it. Hadn't seen it up until that point. I've watched it. I really liked it. It was good. But I mean, I don't see myself going and watching it again. Turbo. I tried to get rid of this one once, and then my wife was like, no, I like that movie. And it was like, we literally haven't watched it since we bought it. Like, you streamed it somewhere sometime. We got it at a yard sale for like $3 apparently, and we've never watched this movie. We've owned it for like 10 years. So I'm making the executive decision. That one's gone. There's another one, gift. So I took it from my brother. He was getting rid of it. He got the 4K. I mean, I enjoy this movie enough. Overall, it's a disappointment. It's not the kind of Venom movie I wanted. But I took it because I was like, well, you know, I enjoy the movie enough. I'll take it. But now it's like, I've had this for a year or so. Still haven't popped it in. So there's another one. Just stuff that, like, you know, even if you like it enough or even really like it, like, is it something you're passionate about? Are you going to be revisiting enough that it's worth justifying taking up the space on your shelves? So I think that wraps things up. We ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 movies that we're getting rid of in this haul. Reverse haul, purge. So I got like the likes of 300. Again, fun enough movie. Just don't see myself revisiting it often enough. Birdman, really liked it. Won't watch it. Like a lot of these are like I like them or think they're okay enough. I'm just not going to watch it that often. So 300, Birdman, Contagion, the original Justice League, North by Northwest, Shazam 2, That Thing You Do, Training Day, Turbo, Venom. I'm pretty happy with this as far as like a getting rid of reverse haul, so to speak. So, I mean, I should be able to get $10 at least off of this at a trade-in somewhere. Probably more than that, actually, like $20. I would say. So next time I go to trade in somewhere, I'll be happy to get rid of these, get some credit to get some stuff that I'm really passionate about getting in the collection, because I've been wanting to add more like Disney classics or something like the Hitchcock that I mentioned with North by Northwest. I love Rope. I want to add Rope to my collection. I want to get a physical release of Psycho, that kind of thing. Like those are the kinds of things I want to be adding more to the collection rather than just like, oh, I enjoy this series overall, but I don't need to own the weaker movies in it or the lesser movies that I'm not as passionate about by a certain director or creator. So oh, I forgot. There's these ones too from the stack I haven't seen. So it's actually 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Because we got the Ben-Hur, 10 Commandments, Lawrence of Arabia, Girl on the Train, Full Metal Jacket, Best in Show, Across the Universe. So yeah, I should be able to get a good bit of money for this on a trade-in when I eventually go to my favorite trade-in store, Huber Music and Video. I feel like I should be able to get at least $20-$30 for all this stuff. I got a couple 4Ks in here too. So again, thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one.